Hello world, I'm Uncle Effect 0, Profile Production, and next part is Sakura Succubus 5. So, let's jump into where we left off last time. A succubus in disguise, drying off the soup that landed in our lap. Well, kind of in our lap, but it landed on a thigh. Well, it's not enough to become Thaiology, at least. Because it's a guy Thai. Girl Thais? Yeah, Thaiology. Alright, let's continue. Not to worry, Mr. Urasawa, I would be more than happy to aid you. Before I am able to do so, Elizabeth appears to my side, the damp towel in her hand. Now, when did she pull that from? Elizabeth kneels at my feet as dutiful as, well, a maid, then begins to rub my thigh with said towel. Her carriage, though unexpected, certainly feels good, although... Is it just me or my imagination, or her gloved fingers straying precariously close to my crotch? That's another hint that she's probably a succubus. Her eyes are amber-like, and, well, I have never met any human, at least not any human that I was able to identify eye color of that actually has amber eyes. Because amber eyes to hold a certain fire in them, and, well... So, succubus eyes are fiery, after all. I didn't spill any soup there, though. I murmured this in a strangled voice, but Alyssa pays me no heed. She continues to dab at my pants, her amber eyes focused all the while upon my face. While she works, her chest sways in a tandem with the repetitive motion of her arm. This eventually places too much strain upon her white blouse, which was already struggling to contain the full heft of her chest. Before my very eyes, one of the buttons on Elizabeth's blouse comes undone, thus revealing the value of her soft cleavage. Hope. I swallow and abashed feel obligated to turn my head away. I fear if it weren't making a conscious effort to not stare, my vision would be struck by Elizabeth's hypnotic chest. She looks so incredibly attractive, I have to wonder whether she's not doing this on purpose. Is she trying to seduce me? If so, she's doing an embarrassingly good job. I had no idea eating dinner in a royal palace would prove to be so very stimulating. With the dinner finished, I decided to retreat to my bedroom to spend the rest of the evening relaxing. That was my plan at least, but Marina, Hazel, and Hifumi decided to invite themselves into my chamber for a talk, not that I really mind. My room is more than large enough to accommodate all three of them, and we have not had much of a chance to speak since arriving in Astoria. Hifumi has been too busy playing endless games of Karuta with Stephanie, while Hazel has been practicing with her upcoming tournament, and Marina has a whole slew of business meetings to attend. Tonight, however, the three of them have some time off to finally kick back and relax. They're so relaxed, in fact, that they're taken appearing in the succubus form, all skin-tight outfits and bat-like wings. I guess I must get stifling having to wear the human disguise as they wander the palace. Showing up in the dining room with horns and tails would doubtless cause a huge scandal. During their daily lives, my succubus companions have to keep their real selves a secret. It's only when they are around each other, or I think with a wry smile when they're with me, that they can be true to themselves. I can't help but sympathize with them. At least I would. Well, let's talk about their wings. Alright, if Fumi's wings are too low, if she would fly with them, she would dangle her head towards the ground, and that's not very practical because her wings are very low on her back, And Marina's wings are on the middle of her back, which isn't very practical either. She would have to balance herself while flying, which would defeat the whole point of being able to fly, because she wouldn't be able to focus on flying while she's pretty much trying to balance herself. And Hazel's wings, those are the only wings that are actually placed on the right place on her back. She would be able to fly upright without any too much problem. So, well, that's the wings debug. Your bed is so soft, Hiroki. This is the best. I could roll around on it all day. If Hazel didn't seem to be having the time of her life. She dove onto my bed the moment she entered my room, and she's been rolling about like an overexcited puppy for a good couple of minutes. You'd think her wings would get in the way, but apparently not. I'm kind of impressed, actually, that she's not gotten them trapped. Marina Alas does not look at all amused. She frowns instead, her arms folded. Why should you act so immature? You're embarrassing yourself. I thought you were supposed to be an adult. Now, Marina. If Fumi placed a hand upon Marina's shoulder, let Hazel have her fun. I can hardly fault her for being excited given our luxurious surroundings. I feel a little bit like a giddy schoolgirl myself, if I am being quite honest. I filmed a lot of television dramas in old castle, but I've never stayed in a European palace before. There, you see? Hazel sits up and stabs a finger in Hifumi's direction. You get me. How can I not be excited given how crazy cool everything is? I feel just like a real member of the nobility. You might feel like it, but you certainly aren't acting like it. Marina sighs. Good grief. It's a good thing nobody is around to witness your shameful behavior other than us. Else I fear you would be ejected from the palace forthwith. If anybody was around to see us, they'd freak out. Normal... Oh, that was not pleasant. Humans aren't supposed to have wings and tails. I suppose you have a point. I always do. I'm not a total idiot. Now that is up for debate. Marina shakes her head. I think you spoil her too much, Ifumi. You need to be hard on her. It's the only way she'll learn. I can't say I enjoy all her back chat. She's only doing it because she's excited. Let her have some fun. It's not why we came here. You might have come here to goof off, but I did not. I have many meetings to attend to. It's all quite tedious. That's your problem, Marina. You work too much. You got to learn to cut loose once in a while. Speaking of, here's a sparkle. Why don't we call a maid over and order some alcohol? I'm in the mood for some fancy bubble, and I can't get enough of all these cute maids calling me my lady. I'm in paradise. Should you really be drinking, Hazel, when you have a tennis tournament to compete in? That doesn't sound like the best idea. It actually isn't. Being drunk and actually working out at the same time, that never works out well. I've never seen a single time that ever worked out well. You need to let the alcohol burn out of your body before that, because when you work out and you have alcohol in your body, you burn water, which means your body has less water, which means the alcohol is what's left, and alcohol that's not kind of spat out with water does make it so that the alcohol makes you puke. Simple as that. Hiroki is right. Do you not have to wake up early in the morning so you can practice? Boo. It's about. You're not wrong, but geez, I guess I get smashed after I won. Are you that assured in your victory? Mina purses her lips together. Having confidence is a good thing, but you must be careful. It does not cross over into arrogance. Remember, pride comes before a fall. Heh, now you're starting to sound kind of motherly, just like Ifumi. Are you worried about me, Marina? Worry about you often. You invite it with your silly behavior. I fear I can't keep my eye off you, at least you cause all sorts of trouble. Hey now, here's a pout. I don't think I'm quite that bad. I do have some common sense, like I said, and to prove it I forego drinking. I know I ain't good. It ain't good for me, no matter how much fun it might be. I'm wondering though. Essa smiles coyly. Could we get a maid over here anyway? I'm kind of in the mood for ogle some pretty girls, and that Elizabeth is particularly adorbs. Ugh. The mention of Elizabeth's name makes me wince. She's been on my mind ever since dinner, though I've tried, unsuccessfully, to put her from my mind. I've more than a few doubts about her. There? Ifumi, perceptive as always, looks at me concernedly. Oh, you're alright. I'm fine, don't worry. I was just thinking, don't you think Elizabeth was getting a bit too intimately acquainted with me earlier? You mean when she was wiping your thigh? I nod. I didn't bring it up, I didn't want to make a scene, but her hand was perilously close to my, well, I cleared my throat. It was a bit embarrassing. You mean she was getting frisky with you under the table? It's about. That's like no fair. I want to have some fun with Lizzie too. She's too cute not to. That's not the issue here, dummy. I grab a pillow from the bed, then hurl it in Hazel's direction. This is a futile gesture, of course, given how easily Hazel is able to catch it. Succubus have better instincts than most ordinary humans, but it does a decent job of communicating my displeasure. I'm worried she's coming on to me. Would you be jealous? Jealous? Ifumi ponders, one hand beneath her chin. I do not think I would be, no. I already knew before I pursued this relationship with you that you were intimate with other women. There's no reason for me to be jealous, not when you have always been upfront on this matter. I agree. As Succubus myself, I do not get jealous as most other women do. If you wish to indulge in a relationship with Elizabeth, you may. Though I'm beginning to wonder whether you will have much of a say in the matter. Now that sounds ominous. I'm not sure if I like that. Dubious, I look at Marina and say, what do you mean? This is only an assumption upon my part, but Marina rearranged herself upon the edge of my bed, one long leg folded across the other, and speaks anew. Okay, I want to reassure you all now that what I think. I don't think I do believe Elizabeth is a succubus, but I do not believe the princess is one. Because, well, if the princess is one, she is very, very no, very good at concealing that she knew, because I think other succubus mostly can detect one another, but I do believe truly to 99% that Elizabeth actually is a succubus. At least she has succubus blood, that I'm sure of. From the moment I laid eyes upon Melissa, I sensed a certain kinship, if you will, with her. Something about her scent feels awfully familiar. Have you felt it too, Ifumi, Hazel? Now that you mention it, it's been something oddly familiar about the way she's ports herself. I do not believe we have ever met her, but I feel as though I understand her regardless. Same here. I feel like if I wanted, we could become really good friends or something, I don't know. I get along well with most people except Marina, so I didn't pay too much heed. What do you think this means, Marina? This is all a conjecture on my part. Yet to see any proof, but Marina frowns. I would not be at all surprised if Elizabeth, the woman, was another succubus like the rest of us. Really? I stared at Marina, my eyes wide. How sure are you about that? Not very, at the moment. But if that were the case, you would not be surprised if we succubi are everywhere after all. It would explain at the very least why it seems to be so attracted to you. You said this all I believe I can explain before irresistible to succubi, such as us. Perhaps you ought to be careful, darling Hiroki. Marina titters. If you let your guard down, that woman might just consume you. Well, succubus do technically consume affection from people to actually gain power. You could read into succubus on the internet. There are actually very much information about them, but how much of it is true, I cannot really say. I've not met a succubus personally yet. The next morning, what? I go and soon find myself aroused from my slumber by slivers of warm, washed-out sunshine which filters in through the gaps in the curtains. Yawning, I strap myself into wakefulness, then sit up. The bed in my luxurious chamber is so soft and plush, I'm stuck with the desire to lie back beneath the covers and indulge in slumber, but that be a waste of the day. Since I'm in the story, I might as well go and see some of the sights. I don't want to spend another day cooped up inside the palace. I'm interested in checking out Rosenberg Street, and to do that, I first need to get out of bed. I rise, and after a bit of internal deliberation, I stretch again. Another yawn forces its way from my throat, this one deep enough to induce tears which bead in the corners of my eyes. This is no good. I might spend a night in a lap of luxury, but I still feel weary. It's residual jet lag. This is quite the time difference between Estonia and Japan, and I thought spent most of yesterday relaxing and not had much time to myself. My bed is looking awfully tempting right about now. But no, I can't give into its soft blanket temptations. I would give all of myself into that temptation. I mean, I can easily sleep for more than 12 hours a day. Actually, yesterday I think I was only awake for around, let's see, 6 hours at most. Rest of the time I slept. That I can totally say, and I'm not even sick. I must be the bigger man. Put yourself together, Hiroki. You're supposed to be an adult. It's time for you to start acting like it. I had to put too much force into that one. Since I feel so tired, I figured the best way to invigorate me would be to have a nice warm bath. My plan settled, I made my way over to the bathroom. My bare feet pad against the tiles, which feel comfortably cold against my skin. I draw up a bath and pour a liberal amount of scented oil and lavender foam into the water. If I don't come out of this bath smelling like a florist, I'll be disappointed. I used a crapload of fancy products, way more than I usually have a chance to, or indeed care to. As much as I like bathing, I'm not big on all the scented oil stuff. There's something a little emasculating about it. Still, there's no shame in treating myself. All the produce are right there for me to use. Well, then it'd be rude almost if I didn't help myself. With this dough in mind, I strip off my clothes and lower myself into the tub. I start relieved among the water pools around me. The bath is deep enough that I'm subsumed all the way to the waist, my legs disappearing from view beneath a mound of bubbles. Bath is very, very relaxing. The water is hot, but not hot enough to be scalding. In a word, it's just right. I'm pretty much always, when I take a bath, always has water that it would scald anybody else. I mean, it's so warm that if the warmth of the water wouldn't subside in a while, you would technically need a lot of water to drink. The relaxing scent of the floral oil fills the air, tinkling my nostrils. Though I used a lot of products, not at all overwhelming. I'm not in the habit of ranking all the baths I've taken. I am a normal human being despite my certainly abnormal love life, and I have better things to do with my time. But if I was, this one would definitely be up there. It feels like I'm submerged in a luxury, quite literally. My cruddy apartment in Tokyo with the tatami floors and the toilet that doesn't always flush will be harder to endure after getting used to all the perks of living in a genuine palace. I guess I should try and make the most of it while I can. I lean back in the tub, utterly content when... I must beg your pardon, Miss Ogasawara, but may I come in? I have cleaning duties I must attend to. I hope you understand, and I do apologize for the inconvenience caused. Huh? My eyelids, which were beginning to drop, snapped open while my head swirls toward the doorway. In an instant, the peaceful, tranquil mood in the bathroom is shattered. I thought I was going to be left alone in this morning, but apparently not. There, standing in the doorway, in the doorway of the bathroom, she didn't even wait for my permission to enter, is Stephanie's self-proclaimed #1 maid, Elizabeth. Elizabeth looks very neat and tidy as she did the morning prior. Well, if she is a succubus, well, we do certainly not have a choice to decline her. Her silver hair cascades smoothly about her shoulders like a waterfall, and her ruffled maid attire has nary single wrinkle. I can't see faults with her appearance-wise, though I can certainly fault her behavior. What in the world is she doing? Cleaning, like I said. It's a replies moody with a curt nod of her head, and oh, that kind of embarrassing. I know it is articulated by displeasure out loud. This unexpected turn of events has left me pretty flustered. My heart won't stop hammering. I thought the baths were supposed to be a relaxing experience, damn it. I inhale, trying to gather my thoughts and my wits, then say in the calmest cadence I can muster, I'm sorry to interrupt your cleaning, but as you should be able to see, I'm having a bath now. It'd be a bit awkward if you tried to clean while I'm in the tub, so would you mind postponing it? I suppose I could. Elizabeth concurs, but then she pauses. That would cause some complications, though. Complications? It is my duty as a maid, you see, to ensure that every inch of the palace is properly maintained, a duty which extends, of course, to the guest bedrooms and the guest bathrooms. I would not be able to forgive myself if I let this bathroom to unattended. I would not be able to forgive myself if I left this bathroom to unattended to. I get that, but if you waited, I cannot wait. I have so many duties I must attend to. It is necessary that I follow my schedule to the minute's detail, else I will surely go awry. Altering one detail about my schedule, no matter how minute it may seem to you, would have to serious repercussions. I do hope you understand. Like the butterfly effect, you mean? A bit like that, yes, though we are not talking about time travel here. If I could jump into the past, I would in a heartbeat, so that I might be able to work even more effectively, but alas, Elizabeth shakes her head. I may be my latest top mate, but there are some feats even I cannot perform. Now will you permit me to clean the bathroom? It shall not take a minute. Right, if you're going to be that insistent, I suppose you can. Just don't stare at me too much, please. I glanced down on my lap, abashed. The most intimate areas of my tummy might be hidden by the sheen of bubbles, but I feel distinctly exposed here. Just don't stare at me too much, please. Oh? An amused smile captured Elizabeth's lips. Are you embarrassed, Mr. Sakura, by being seen in the bath? Well, of course I am. I demur, my head hanging. I think anybody would be embarrassed in this situation. It's not like we know one another particularly well. Perhaps that holds true for you in regards to me, but there is much I know of you already. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, indeed. I know, for instance, that you are in a public relationship with Miss Yamamoto, but you also seem to be very friendly with Miss Wakatsuki and Miss Williams. Speculation as to your character is rife all over the newspaper, even in Astoria. You have made quite a name for yourself over the last few days. I groan. I know I had become something of a celebrity, but I hadn't realized my love life had become a topic of public debate across Astoria too. By the sounds of it, I had become something of an international celebrity. There's no way my parents can't have heard about all this, or my co-workers for that matter. Going back to work is going to be a nightmare. I just know it. Being so very well regarded by all the ladies, I fail to see why you should be abashed at my presence. Surely you should be accustomed to being regarded in such a status as a state of undress. Yeah, I guess, but this feels different somehow. How exactly? You cannot say, well, not to worry, I do not mean to make you uneasy. That is the exact opposite of my intentions. In fact, I would far rather relax you, so to that end, here Elizabeth smiles and takes a delicately devilish bent. Would you allow me to wash your back, Mr. Ogisawara? Huh? I look at Elizabeth dumbly. I thought you said you had to clean the bathroom. What happened to your schedule? I would be cleaning and I would still be in the bathroom. Your hygiene is every bit as important as keeping these tiles spotless. I guess, but that sounds like a technicality to me. Besides, I'm an adult, I can wash myself. Perhaps you can, but I doubt you can ease the tension in your shoulders and back as effectively as my hands can. I'm confident in my capabilities, and I'm certain I can take you to paradise. You deserve nothing less as a guest of our princess. Now, won't you let me spoil you? And so in the end, yeah. I don't need to save here either, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just in case something might have changed on the last time I read this. But at least that was all I have for Sakura Succubus 5 this time. Then, so hit like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.